Good, how are you? How's everybody doing?
Good. It seemed like the defense in the second half took a big step forward. What do you think went into that?
Just going into halftime, understanding that we just had to take some things out, make a few adjustments, just like we always have to do. But understanding what we had to do up front, we were going to play some man coverage, so we had to get to the quarterback. So just understanding our pass rush lanes, working together, trying to cage rush, keep the quarterback in there.
You were getting in the backfield some. How much improvement have you seen in putting pressure on the quarterback?
Just in myself, a lot just from week 1 to week 2. We were able to get them to some third and long, some second and long. So we knew they were going to be able to try to throw the ball. And just working with the guys that are inside, the guys on the other side of me, Kayshawn Bennett, he stepped up huge this week. Gary, Keanu, they're great to have inside. So I really just had my one-on-one, had to go work that, understand the personnel from UNLV.
Obviously, this is a defense that, even though you weren't here last year, they went through some similar early struggles. But obviously, last year they had a lot of returning pieces. What's it like coming in, knowing that this formula for this defense has worked before, but now you've got 11 new starters that are all trying to stick with it and try to see it through?
Yeah, it's really just trusting the process, getting in with Coach Malloy, Coach Jet, and just understanding the little ins and outs of the defense. Like you said, the defense is known to work, so we just got to learn how to play off one another. And that's just when I bring up Gary and Keanu, like being able to play off those guys, and they make my job easy. So, and over here it's really fit defense. So if Gary's right here, I'm gonna just fold inside. So just getting to know those relationships. If some guys go down, just being able to get other guys in there that can do the same thing.
Coach Foster talks a lot about discipline. Coach Malloy was just talking about how he wants the defensive ends to be more disciplined. So for you, what does that mean, and what are you trying to take away from that?
Just on little things like zone read, not getting bored with the little details from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, because I think we did a pretty good job. And then fourth quarter, we started to get a little bit of greedy. Yeah, it's just really just focusing on the little details throughout the whole game.
You're someone who has taken advantage of the transfer portal. You've been at multiple programs. From a player's perspective, how would you feel about a more NFL-style contract situation, like multi-year contracts and stuff like that? Do players look ahead to that? Would you like that at the college level, or do you like the idea of having kind of the freedom every year?
Me personally, it's everybody's situation's different. So I kind of just go with the flow of how college football is. If they're going to adjust to something, then we all just kind of have to adjust to that. But in the past, things went how they went, so I was able to take advantage of those opportunities. But we all just kind of have to adapt with how college football goes.
And speaking of your transfer situation, obviously, they recruited you once before last year. What was it about the UCLA situation this year that made the fit make sense for you?
Honestly, just I knew a lot of the coaches over here. I knew some players over here. Last year we weren't able to make it work. Like Coach Meat being over here is a big help, even though he's the DB coach. That's like family to me. I've known Coach Malloy for a long time, and then just having Coach Jet come in here with all of his experience, it was kind of a no-brainer, being close to home, all of that. So.
Coach Malloy just pointed to Juju Walls as a freshman that
Yeah.
was trying to find ways to get him in the game. What have you seen from Juju Walls so
He's
far?
going to be a guy, and I tell him that all the time. He's one player that you know what you're going to get out of him at practice, in the game. So just like Coach Malloy said, finding ways to get him involved. We can get him in on second and long, just more pass rush opportunities, because he's a real dynamic player. So just being able to get him in any way possible is really good for us.
When you've been looking at New Mexico film, what have you noticed from their offense so far?
Their offensive line is coached pretty well. I do think we have an advantage as a defensive line, just matchup per matchup. They have a pretty good tight end. They look to get him the ball. Not as mobile as a quarterback as we've seen in these past 2 weeks, so we should be able to pass rush, get there, keep him in the pocket, and just let our DBs know that we got their back. So.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.